Hi, my name is Sahand, and today I'll be showing you how to be making a pork tenderloin with a nice creamy mushroom sauce. So this is really good for anything like lunch and everything. So first off, here is our pork, and this is the thing that you put when your steaks are finished. First, put some salt. You know that this pork is store-bought, but it's seasoned on the outside, but it needs to be seasoned on the inside in order to be delicious. First, put some salt. Just put this much so it doesn't get way too salty. Then the second one, and there. Then when you're done on the inside, put some black pepper in. You gotta go slowly with this. And when you finish putting black pepper in, put on your next one. There. And then when you're done that, close the lid of your black pepper. You're done your seasoning on the steak. Grab your steak hammer and make sure to hit it well so it can give more space so it can cook evenly. So you see that I've done already on this one, down onto the side. Then your next one, well, use this to move it out to give it some space. And then when that's done, flip that over, and then you use your hammer again to hit it again, and then same thing for that one, and done. And then when you've done that, put a touch of oil onto the steak. And when that's done, flip it over. Put oil on the other steak that is seasoned on the inside. Flip the second one. Then do the same thing for that one. And then when you're done that, use your hands to move it around. And then when you're done the first part, flip this one over. Do the same thing for this one. And then when you're done that, flip this one over. And then move it, and then you use your hands to make the steak more space and more delicious. So for my side dish for my pork tenderloin, I'll be making some roasted vegetables right here. So we got asparagus and cauliflower. First things first, you gotta use your knife to cut this cauliflower in half. And then same thing for the second one, and then the third one as well, and then this one, and boom. Then we don't need to cut the tiny ones, because if we cut them, it's gonna be so hard to cook. And now for the best part, the seasoning. So get your salt to season the cauliflower first. Always season. Now for the tiny ones, and now when that's done, and then for the asparagus as well, and then that'll be good. And then grab your black pepper. Actually, not black pepper. Use your roasted veggies from Kinder's. Make sure to get these. They're really good. And put them on top of your cauliflower. If they don't come out, let's do this. Hit the top, and it comes down. And when you're done with the big ones, go to the second one. And then when you're done the second one, go to your asparagus. And then when you're done with that, put that to the side, get your oil, and put just a touch on the cauliflowers so it can give more flavor, and then put that on the tiny ones. And now for the asparagus, not too much, just a tiny bit. Just put a tiny, and then that's enough. And then that's enough. And then use your hands, push the asparagus to give it more flavor. Then for the cauliflower, use your hands to push it together. And then boom, that is done. You see there's some oil on the cauliflower, the seasoning. Same thing for these ones. Spread it around with the other flavors. Then when you're done with that, and that's my seasoning on the vegetables. Then we're making the sauce. So we're going to be cutting up some mushrooms. We'll be cutting up some of these mushrooms into circles like this. And then when you see they're cut it, make sure to be careful of your hand because it might cut you. Then when you're done with these, put that to the side. And when you're putting that to the side, go to your next one. And you don't need to season your mushrooms because if you season, it's going to taste so bad. And it's because the sauce is literally having the flavor. If you put salt on or anything on the mushroom, it takes the whole flavor away. So make sure to put no mushrooms onto your sauce. Then when you see I've done the mushrooms already, that's onto the side. Wait, don't forget to cut the ones that are not done. You see that's done. Go to your big one and then done. That's done. And then you go like this, 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 this. Let the knife do the work. Just let the knife do its job. Just let the knife do the work. Let the knife do the work, and then when you see that's done, put that to the side. And then when you put these things back on there, and then if you see there's one too big, that's okay. Just keep putting that there. When you see that's done, get your other mushroom, and then cut that like this. Just like the other one, let the knife do the work. Just let it do the work until it's finished. When you see one of them are cut and you don't have enough space, move them out of the way and keep cutting your mushrooms. And then when you see they're cut it up, put that to the side. And that one's finished, and put that to the side and get to that one. And then go to inside, chop out. And then when you cut these guys up, just let the knife do the work. Let the knife do the work. And then when you see this ones are finished, and then that one's good because it's small, and then cut this one up, and then for your last mushroom, you cut this one up, and then when you see it's finished, just let the knife do its work. Like, if you just let the knife do its work, it's gonna be all right. Then you see a big gap, go in, cut it in. Then that's done. And then when you see that's too big, that's good. And then when you see that's done, and that's how you make cutting of the mushrooms for my sauce. So now we're going to start making the sauce. First, turn your heat on with a cup of butter in your pan. And when you see it starting to melt, move it around. Move the butter around so it can melt. Because for the sauce, it's going to be a lot creamier. It needs to be so creamy so it can be the best sauce you ever made for your pork. And when you see it's already starting to melt, get your mushrooms and pour it. Get it get it into the pot. Put your mushrooms into the pot. And when you see that the mushrooms are in there, and then when you see the mushrooms are in, just wait. You have to wait until they're cooked, and then when you see it's cooked, we start on the other ingredients. And then you have to move it around fast because sometimes it could overcook. And then it's on low heat, then you turn it up so the heat evaporates inside the mushrooms. So it can be, oh, you hear that? Hear that sizzling? That's the good part. We have to put butter again into the pan and then chop some garlic and then put another garlic in. You push there and then get your knife, cut it part, and boom. And then if you see if there's any more, use it to cut it off. Go slow and steady, and then do that to get all of that garlic in. Put that to the side, and then turn on the heat. Turn the heat on. Then we spread it around. You spread it around to get a nice golden garlic. Get nice golden. Then we keep stirring it until it's ready. And then when we see it's ready, we put a cup of flour in. Then we mix it. We have to mix it fast. Do you hear that sizzle? That is a good sign. So our garlic is heating up right now. So we open this bottle of flour. And then we get this much. And then grab a knife and then pull it down. And then when you see that's ready, get to your pan of garlic, pour that in, then put your spoon to the side, then start mixing it. Then start mixing up your garlic and your flour. That's the beginning of the sauce. Wait till you see at the end, it's really tasty. So you keep stirring your garlic, and when you see that's ready, grab your cup of milk and then pour it in, not too much, and then stir it again, and then pour some again. Oops. And then keep stirring it, and then when you see it's almost finished, keep pouring. When you see it's getting ready, and then keep pouring that in. And then when you see that's almost done, pour it all in. Start mixing it. Then start mixing your garlic. Now it's time to put the mushrooms in. So pour in your mushrooms onto the sauce. Put your mushrooms onto that sauce. Then when you see all the mushrooms are coming in, when they are coming in to the sauce, put the plate to the side, grab your spatula, grab this, and stir it around. Look at that sauce. That is a sauce to die for. If you want to see it, if you want to make one of these, make sure to see this. Make sure to watch my video again to see. If you want to make my sauce again, make sure to watch my video to go step by step. Bon appetit. So we're now at the barbecue to start our pork tenderloin. So first, grab your pork tenderloin with this. Find the hottest spot 2/3 away. In it goes. And do the same thing with it here. And then leave it there until it cooks and lid down. And we have to wait until that cooks so it can be not. Then when it's ready, we flip it over, and then when it's all the way cooked, we put it on a plate, and then we'll bring it back and go enjoy it. Now the pork tenderloin is ready. Now it's time to serve it to the plate. The first one will go there. Second one goes over there. And then we put and then that one there, and then vegetables here, put the vegetables there, put the vegetables there. When you see the pork tenderloins up, heat off, and then put it in. You see they're all ready. Heat off. Get your vegetables all onto the plate, just like this, and I'm doing. And then, when you see it is ready, when the cauliflowers are cooked properly and is delicious, that is good. And then get your asparagus onto the plate, and here's the last two, and there. Then look at this beauty that I made. If you want to make it again, make sure to watch it again to recreate my specialty pork tenderloin with a nice creamy mushroom sauce. Bon appetit!